Good evening and welcome to the Magic Show, where we learn simple things to make us smart and lazy for the rest of our lives. I think everybody is in a New Year mood, so we don't have enough number of people here. New Year or prayer mood, I don't know what. But we'll get along. Today's session, any case, is going to be a little brief because we are looking at some Windows tips and tricks. What we can do in Windows itself, and we can install some free programs to make life easier on a day-to-day basis. So our normal housekeeping stuff, I believe that there is some change in the RBI regulations for recurring payments, and therefore there are some places where the credit cards are bouncing. If your payment has bounced, please try again once, and the recurring payment will start regularly. So that is one announcement I had to make. Our forthcoming programs, we are again going through Excel, Word, and Windows tips in the next 3 weeks, one by one. And that should be really entertaining. Excel, Word, and Windows. So once again, we will go through that. Our topic for today, as I said, is going to be very simple regarding certain apps in Windows that we already have and certain apps which we can download and run. So let's get right into the session. Just one sec, I'll just redo my screen. Yeah, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a blank screen now. Okay. The first thing which we want to talk about today is sticky notes. You remember those sticky notes that we used to have, which we used to stick on our computer screen, on our cupboards, on all over the place. Windows 10 has sticky notes, which is inbuilt into Windows 10. So can you see on my screen, there are 2-3 sticky notes that I have created already. Okay. I can give different colors to the notes. I can write whatever I want to do. I can make certain things bold, italics, underline, make a bullet list, put some images here. So I can do all sorts of things. Just like if you remember when we had done Keep notes, that is in Google Keep. This is something very much like that, but directly on your desktop. So you can keep using this and automatically it will pop up whenever you start the computer. You have to keep the sticky notes on. So how do you enable sticky notes? You just go to your Windows. You have the Windows key. Click on the Windows key and just type sticky notes. And you can open up. All these will come to you, or what can happen is you can see the notes as a list. Okay, so the note list looks something like this. I have 3 notes. The list looks something like this. And these are open. If you see the flap here down below, that small curl, that means it is an open note. If I just close any of these, this becomes a closed note. Okay. So sticky notes are very easy to handle and very interesting, because if you are using on your Android phone a Microsoft launcher, then even these get synchronized on your phone also. So this becomes very easy to use. Just now my Microsoft phone launcher. Okay. So let me also show it to you, the same thing that is there. How to use the launcher or how to install the Microsoft launcher on your Android phone, we can see a little later. But just now I just want to show you how the notes get synced. So I'll just share my phone screen. My internet is giving a little problem today. Okay, just accept that this comes on your phone screen also if you are having a Microsoft launcher. And if you double click on it, you can come here, you can add notes. When you make notes, you can type whatever you want to type. There are options to give a color to the note. So I can use different colors for different purposes. Suppose personal, you want to have one color, your official, you want another color. You can put different colors and just type your note. Okay, it's as simple as that. You just type it out and it stays there. That's it. Are we clear on this? The sticky notes part is extremely simple. You just click on the Windows button and type sticky notes. If for whatever reason, most of the time you should have it. If for whatever reason you don't have sticky notes inbuilt into, because this is Microsoft product, so it is always inbuilt into Windows 10. There are other sticky notes apps also. So how do you go to the Microsoft Store? You just type here Store and you get into the Microsoft Store, open. Then you see all the apps in the store. You can search for sticky notes. And you'll see this is the one that we are using just now, Microsoft Sticky Notes, which is inbuilt into Windows 10. But if you want to play around, you can try these sticky notes, other versions also, Sticky Notes 8. Keep Notes, of course, is a different product altogether. Color Note, Notepad. Any of these you can use and get sticky notes directly onto your screen. This is very, very useful, especially for making quick notes. Suppose you are learning something in Zoom, you want to make a quick note, just go there, say plus, open another window and start taking notes. So the first topic for today is sticky notes. Okay, and that's it. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to save anything, it automatically gets listed here. Okay. Are we clear on this? If you want to put, say, numbering or bullets or something. The next topic, say, we says everything. Okay. So it's as simple as that. You can straight away use sticky notes to put stuff on your screen, which will remind you of various things. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so let's close this. The second interesting, very simple things these are, but they are very useful. You know, when we use the computer, there is a lot of white light which converts to blue light which hits us in the eyes. Especially after sunset, you want to dim the screen a bit. Okay. So what you can do, I'll just open one browser window so that you can see what I'm trying to say. Okay, so can you see my browser window now? Yeah. Now what I will do is I will want to dim the light emanating from the screen. So what I do is on any blank portion of my desktop, I'll just right click. I'll go to display settings. So I'll get this sort of a screen, and in find a setting, I'll say night light. Can you see this on the top left? Just typing night light. Now see what is happening here. When you turn it off, see the screen, how bright it is. It hits your eyes. Okay, so when you say turn on night light, what happens is it dims itself, and this is very conducive to work after sunset because it does not hit your eye as hard as the normal screen would. So did we get this? How do we do a turn on and off the night light? Just come here, right click, display settings, and in finder settings, we have to say night light. When you get the night light, you can turn it on or off, and then you can decide the intensity. Suppose you make it very, this is too bad. Somewhere in between is reasonable. Somewhere here, see, this is what the bright light would look like. This is what the night light would look like. Yeah, any questions? Here, if you have even set your location settings, if you turn on location settings, then automatically you can set it for sunset to sunrise. So at your particular location, whenever there is a sunset, it will automatically give you this response. And whenever there is a sunrise, automatically it will turn back to a bright white light. Just now I have not connected the location settings. So I have said turn it on at 7 o'clock in the evening and turn it off at 7 o'clock in the morning. Are we getting this? I'm not hearing anything or seeing anything on the chat. Yes or no? Okay. So did you get how I did it? Once again, you want to see it? I just said right click, display settings. In find a setting, you just say night light and set it, turn it on or off. And once you do it, you can say set the hours and you can manually do the hours, or you can turn on your location settings for your phone and then automatically sunset to sunrise will be taken care of. Okay.
But Yazdi, you did this in your browser or you did it on your main?
No, on the main desktop. Browser I opened just to show you the brightness. I just switch off the browser. Anywhere on the blank area of your screen, you right click and say display settings.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll come to something like this. And then you say night light. That is where you set your night light. Okay.
Okay.
How to do location settings? You can just click on this, allow access to location on this device, and automatically it will identify. Allow apps to access your location. You can say yes. I don't normally like to do it, so I have kept it off, but you can just do the location settings straight away here. Okay, so you just click on this location settings and you'll get all these options. And then you can even define which app can identify your location. So if you want to say I want the computer itself allow desktop apps to access your location. If you make it on, automatically you will be able to access your location automatically. But in India, of course, more or less the timings are near about. The range is not very high, but abroad the range can be very high. Like it can get dark at 4 o'clock in the evening and it can get bright at 4 o'clock in the morning. So there the changes are quite wide. Okay, so it is anywhere on the desktop, right click. You can be anywhere, but it should be a blank area. It should not be any shortcut that you have. It has to be a blank area and just say new. I'm sorry, just say display settings and make the changes. Okay. So that is what Nightlight is all about. We'll do 2-3 more, which will be interesting. The next one we will look at is called everything. Okay, whenever you want to search for stuff on your computer, how do you search for stuff? Can anybody tell me how they do it? There are lots of ways of searching. So how do you do it?
Go to start.
Go to start and then
Search
type.
programs and files.
Yeah, so then you have this option of search. Okay, where is the option? I can't see it because I don't use this. Any guess? So you can search for apps or you can search for your files also. Yeah, so suppose there is a file with the name, say pandemic. No, this is going to the web. So here there is a folder which has pandemic in it. There are 1 or 2 folders. There are some documents which has the word pandemic in it. Okay. So this is how you do it. Now, if you have multiple hard disks and including an external hard disk, search sometimes can take a long time on Windows. Here you have the search button here also. So if you click here, you can look for apps, you can look for files, etc., etc. You can go to File Explorer. Your File Explorer will open something like this. Okay, and then you can search, right? You can have search out here on the top right. So then you can go to your desktop or you can go to this PC or my computer and then do a search. And this search, believe me, is very, very painful and very slow. There is something called everything. Okay, I'll show you how to install it. Just see what it does. And if you like it, then I will show you how to install it and use it. Okay, so I have a desktop icon called everything. I just double click on it. And this is the screen I get in an instant. Now, if I want to search something here across the board, it may be on my C drive, it may be on my D drive, it might be on my external drive, it might be on my data card. So if I type pandemic, see how fast the search goes. Okay, this is virtually an instant search, which Windows search is a little, I would say, tardy, slow, and difficult to access. So I can search for anything here. Suppose I say running. All files which have the name running in them are displayed to me. And just see the speed at which it is searching. Or I say PDF viewer. Okay. So this is extremely fast. Suppose you downloaded some document and you forgot where you saved it, not in your downloads folder. It has gone somewhere else by chance, and you want to search. If you know the name of the document, straight away you just type the name of the document and it can get you. Yeah, of course, you can open the file by clicking. Suppose I say, let us see what we saw earlier. Suppose this is, okay, I just double click it and it will open.
And use the chat facility to ask any questions. We can use that or push it.
Okay, so you can just double click, or suppose I say, what did you say, documents, PDF viewers. Okay, now this is a document file. I double click on it, it will open automatically Windows and I can see the entire file. It's instant. This is very, very powerful. I find it very useful and I use it all the time. If I have to look for something, then I don't care where it is stored. You know, sometimes we have multiple folders and the folder list can get quite unwieldy sometimes. Here you can straight away type it and find it. Now this is not all. Now if you see in my file system, I have 9,10,000 objects. If you see down below, it shows me 9,10,000. Yeah, I will explain to you how to install this. Just be patient. So everything allows you to search everything. It's extremely powerful and virtually instant. First time when you install it, it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to do your indexing. After that, it is absolutely instant. You just don't have to worry about anything. Now the search can be in multiple ways. Okay. So in the case of match case, what will happen is upper lower characters also will be distinguished. When I say match case means if I want everything in lower, only the lower case is being shown. Can you see this? Now suppose I say capital R, then all the capital R wala running will come. So the search can be very, very powerful. You know that something is in lowercase, you can put it in lowercase. You know something is in uppercase, you can search it in uppercase also. You can match the whole word or you can even look at part of the word. Okay, so now in this case, badge running, this is part of the word. Actually, the whole word is badge running. I just typed running, so it is looking for part of the word. But if I say match the whole word, then only where running is an individual word, it will show you. The rest will not show. Are you getting this?
Yeah.
So you can match case, you can match the whole word, you can match the path, you can search it in a particular directory only. You can, okay, I'll just remove all these filters. Now the options are you can search everything, or you can search only for audio files, or you can search only for zip files. This is the compressed files, zip or tar, or you can search only for document files. So if I say only document files which have the name running, there is nothing. I say PDF. So document files means PDF files are also document files, and Word files are also called document files. So you can filter your search in so many ways. You want to search only executable files. Suppose you download an installer and you want to search only the exe or MSI file. You can do that. You can search only for a folder, or you can search for a picture, or you can search for a video. So you can refine your search and make it much, much more powerful. The other thing is, if you go to advanced search, you can use multiple parameters. Now suppose I'm saying PDF viewer, I can match case. I can say I want files containing all these words, or I can say files containing this exact phrase. So PDF viewer may be separate words, they can be two parts of the file name. But if I say exact phrase, then it has to be exactly matching this. So I can say PDF viewer, and then it will be the exact phrase. Or you can say any of these words. I want to search for either PDF or viewer. So any of these words. If you saw, the first option was all these words. Second option, here it is any of these words. So it is either PDF or viewer, or none of these words. So you can combine this also. You can say I want PDF viewer, but I don't want the word online. So if there is any file which has PDF viewer online, then it will be excluded. It's a very, very powerful way of doing it. And you can even search for a word or phrase in the file. It takes a lot of time. There is an exclamation mark. Okay. But if you want to search inside a file, also the text inside a file, then you can, suppose you have an agreement and you have the name of a party, say ABC and company. You can say search for all files which contain ABC and company. And it will go inside the files and start searching. Of course, this takes a lot of time because it has to go through, say, 9 lakh files in our case. But this also works beautifully. So search everything, or everything it is called. This is something which is very useful and you can use it in a day-to-day basis. Now, how to install it? It is not on the Microsoft Store. So what we have to do is we have to go to the browser. I'll just give you the address of where you can download it from. Okay, so you go to the browser and look for voidtools.com. It's a very funny name and a very stupid name. voidtools.com. VOID tools.com. And here you get everything. So depending on your machine, you can say download the 64-bit installer, download the light installer, or a zip, or a full installer, etc., etc.
So which
Okay.
will you install? Actually, that's the confusing part, you know.
Sorry?
Which should be installed out of all these?
Normally download the 64-bit installer. Most of the machines nowadays are 64-bit Windows, but you should know what Windows you are using. If you are using a 32-bit old machine, then 32-bit is no longer supported here. Let me see older versions. Here there can be a 32-bit version also. Yeah, this is x86 is the 32-bit version. x64 is the 64-bit version. Ideally, most of the time you will have this 64-bit. Okay. And if it doesn't install or you have some difficulty, then go to the older versions and try the older version. Okay. So once you download this installer, double click on it, it will install, and automatically it will give you this icon, this search icon on your desktop. And you just double click it and you get the. Are we clear on this? It's called everything. Okay. The other interesting thing which we will learn today is the file converter. You remember how we converted files by uploading it on a particular website? There was an extension also which was called Convertio, and there were many websites where Zamzar.com, etc., where we could do the conversion. But today what we will see is something very interesting. Okay, let me just go to a folder called testing for sync. Now I don't know where that folder is, so I will use everything. And I'll look for that folder, testing. Okay, this is a folder I wanted to go to. Now here I have a variety of files. I've got a PDF file, I've got a Word file, I've got a audio file, I've got a video file, I've got image files. Okay, so I have got a variety of files here. And if I have to convert any of these to any other format, how do I do it? Does everybody remember? Sorry, will it affect the GB consumed? In what sense? Of course, if you are running it, the memory will be consumed, but it is a very light program. Everything is very light. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so some of you must tell me now, how will you do the conversion? Suppose you want to convert this PDF file to a JPG file. How will you do it? Any ideas? Come on, either in the chat box or you can speak up. No problem.
Yes, I normally do it in what's it called, Photoshop, but that's quite a difficult thing to do.
Oh yeah, Photoshop is one of the complicated ones.
Yeah, so
But
an easier version would be really helpful. Thank you.
so that's what we are here for. So if you remember, anybody remembers who has MS 365 does it? Yeah, that for conversion from PDF to, but it will not convert an audio file to any other format, correct? Or a video file to another format. That is difficult. Any other thoughts? You don't remember? Some of my regular students should remember that we have used lots of file conversion utilities. We had a website called zamza.com, you remember?
We did Sejda.com PDF.
Sejda was just, no, Sejda was not a converter. Sejda was a PDF manipulator.
Okay.
But we had something called, if you remember, okay, chalo, I'll just run through that part also quickly so that we are on the same page. So for people who like that, so we have something called zamza.com. You guys don't remember? Zamza is an online file conversion tool. So you just say add files or you can drop files here. So I can say I want to drag this and drop it here. Okay, and what do I want to convert it to? So I have 1000 options: document, image, CAD, audio, web format, etc. Normally a PDF file you will want to say convert into say image, say JPG. And then you say convert and it will convert it and you can download the file for use. So this is one of the simplest ways of converting any file to any format. They have got some 200-300 formats out here. So when you say add files, it will take you to your desktop and you can select the files or you can drag and drop. Okay, they have, see, they have audio converters, MP3, WAV, OGG, M4A, document converters, where you can do a PDF, EPS, docx, image converters, image to PNG, GIF, etc., video converters. Now, all this you don't need to bother. You just have to come here, drop your document file or your image file or your audio file or whatever, and say, I want to convert it to what? And that's it. And say convert now, and automatically it will convert. Okay. So this is the more difficult way of doing it. Why we are saying more difficult or less difficult? It depends on where you are. If you are using Photoshop, then it is a less difficult way, because this is straight away you add files and you just convert it. But now what I'm going to show you is really a no-brainer. You click on the file, you right click. There is something called file converter out here. It will not be in your machine, so don't try it just now. I'll tell you how to install it. Okay. So now from PNG, I want to from PDF, I want to convert it to PNG. So straight away it will convert it into an image format. What happened? Converted from, yeah, it is converting. So this original PDF file has been converted. Now, of course, when you make images out of PDF, then you'll have multiple files. So each page becomes another file in this case. Okay, because this has several pages. This PDF has several pages. So it has done it. And now each of the pages is coming as an image file. Okay, so this was the original PDF, which had so many pages. And each page has become there are 10 pages. So each page has become a PNG file. This is really cool. Suppose there is a Word file. I want to convert it to something else. So I just right click, file converter. I can convert it to PDF, or I can convert it to PNG paged. What does it mean? If there are multiple pages, each page will be a separate image. Okay. I have an audio file here. I right click, I say file converter. I have multiple audio formats in which it can be converted. Okay. I have a video file here. Right click, file converter. I can convert it to multiple types of video formats. Okay. Or I have an image file already. So I can convert it to GIF, I can convert it to PNG, WebP, JPG, PDF, whatever I want to do it. This is really cool. You can straight away just right click, convert, and you get the options to convert. Is this
Yes,
cool?
Lee.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in a conversion from sound to text.
Sound to text. No, sound to text it will not do.
Okay.
Okay, there will be other options, but this particular utility, it converts your basic formats from text to PDF, from PDF to text, from PDF to JPG. Multiple ways it does it. Like for example, this is a JPG. I just right click, I say convert it to say PDF. It just straight away converts it. You don't have to be online. You don't have to upload the file. You don't have to do anything. Okay. Now to install this on your computer, we'll just quickly look at the option. 1 second, this is taking a little time. Yeah, it's done. Okay. So this Windows apps, this was the image that we had for today's session. Just 1 sec. This was the image file that we had for today's session in JPG format. And now we have it in PDF format. I just open it and this is in PDF format. It's as simple as that. Just right click and convert. Now to install this on your machine, what you have to do is you have to go to a site called file-converter.com. Okay, I'll just type it out. File-converter.com. Oops. Is it .com or is it, sorry, is this .org? My mistake, .org. Okay. Again here, you just download it and install it, and automatically it will come in your right click in the file system. And the detailed instructions, everything is available here. What are the formats which are supported? What are the settings you can do? And of course, this is a free program, so they ask you to donate whatever you want to donate, $2, $5, $10, whatever. Okay. Again, here you have 64-bit, you have 32-bit. 32-bit is always with x86, 64-bit is always called x64. And there is a zip file also, tar file, etc. It's a very, very simple utility, but very, very useful on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So you just go to file-converter.org, download it. It's a free download. They request you to donate, but if you don't feel like donating, you can. And of course, if you see here in the example, they are showing you the sample. You can select multiple files also. So you can convert multiple files at the same time. Can you see how they are doing it? This is your original. You're selecting multiple files, right click, file converter, and you convert it to whatever format you want. And it will quickly convert.
How did you do the multiple?
You just select multiple files and then right click.
Okay.
See here, what we did was, like for example, now these are all image files. So I will select 1, 2, 3 image files, 4 image files, right click and use a file converter. I say I want to convert all these to PNG or to JPG, whatever. I just say convert all these to JPG. All these are done immediately.
Okay.
Okay.
Original is also kept.
Original is also kept. Yeah. In fact, there are lots of settings. Once you go inside now, just one sec. Let me just show you. When you go to file converter, you can say configure the presets. So then you have lots and lots of settings, and then what to do after you finish, etc. The preset name is this, output format is this, then what is the quality of the video you want, etc., etc. There are a lot of settings. Okay. But normally the defaults work, so there is absolutely no issue at all. So here it says action when conversion is complete. What do you want to do? You move it, the original, into an archive folder, or you delete the original, or you don't take any action. That means the old file remains where it was. Okay, so there are many options here. These are the free utilities you can use straight away without any difficulty. I had some more, but I will want to do only one more, and that is also an interesting. So a lot of times what happens is we have so many programs, like Owen mentioned Photoshop, for example, or you may have Microsoft Word, and you don't want to buy the official paid version. So what you want to know is what are the alternatives to that particular. So there is a site called alternative2.net. Alternative2.net. Can you read this? Now, what it does is, it's a very simple website. You can say, find an alternative to what? You say, find an alternative to Photoshop. I don't. So he says we have 221 alternatives. Okay. So you just click on it and he'll show you. This is an open source game. This is one of the most popular. Affinity Photo, Krita. This is again open source. You can see other things, paint.net, Photopea, Pixlr, Pixelmator, whatever you want to do.
What does open source mean?
Open source means it is free for use. You can use it the way you want. And they also give you the source code. So if you are a programmer, you can even modify that particular program to suit what you want to.
Okay.
So suppose I say Microsoft Word. I don't want to pay for it. Microsoft Word. So what are the alternatives? He says we have 79 alternatives. Click on it and that's it. You got LibreOffice Writer, Google Docs, WPS Writer, Apache OpenOffice Writer, OnlyOffice, TextMaker. It is so simple. So you get free alternatives to virtually any program that you are wanting to use, and which is obviously it will not be the same, but it will be a reasonably viable alternative. So if you say Microsoft Excel, anyone wants to try any other program which you crave to use but you don't want to pay for it? Yeah. Microsoft Excel. So again, he says, I have 90 alternatives for it. LibreOffice and Google Drive Sheets and OpenOffice, geonumeric, numbers, whatever. So it is very, very simple to look for alternatives. Are we clear on this? Yeah.
If we use one of these alternatives, can we send the file to somebody and can they open?
Of
the
course,
file?
of course. For example, now, if you are using Word, okay, Microsoft Word, and you have this LibreOffice Writer, okay. Now this, if you install, you can save it as a Word file also.
Oh,
Yeah. And these are free to use. See here, it says free open source. Okay. And you can convert it into, in fact, some of these free programs have more features also. LibreOffice is like Microsoft Office, but it is totally free.
good.
Okay. And you have a writing tool, you can export to PDF, word processing, built-in PDF converter, portable. Portable means you can even take it on a pen drive and use it. See, somebody has put comments. LibreOffice can do 90% of what Microsoft Office can do, and it costs 100% less. Okay, so it is better than OpenOffice also. It could redraw the MS Word created diagrams, which OpenOffice could not. So you have some comments from users. You can go through the comments and then decide whether it is for you or not. See, if you have very complex documents, huge number of tables and diagrams and all, then the compatibility issues do come up. But if you have normal text with a few tables, this works beautifully. Absolutely no issue. Obviously, there will be differences, but as they said, 90% of the time it works. So you can select a program of your choice, okay, and you can find alternatives to that. Anyone else wants to find any specific program alternative?
Download, we have to just say alternative to.
Alternative to .NET. Once you come here, you search for an alternative, and once you search for an alternative, you click on this, and it will tell you what is LibreOffice, etc., etc. It should give you a download link also. If see here, somewhere it should give you the official website links and download. So then it takes you to the official website of LibreOffice, and there you can go and download. Here download options are there.
So how do these people make their money?
Quite
If
a
they're
few
giving it for
of
free?
these are no, quite a few of these are all what would I say, techies who do a lot of other things, but just for the fun of it, they create something like this. So they may be working for an organization, and then and when you say open source means what? The entire program is open to you, so you can actually go and make changes to the program. Of course, we as lay users, we cannot make any changes. But if you are a real, so then the entire program gets enriched, because I may have some idea, I might put it in, and I might put it up with a different name, and I say, okay, this is, and see the type of platforms it is on. It is on Mac, it is on Windows, it is on Linux, it is on BSD, portable apps, React OS, etc., etc. So you have a whole lot of options. So this is interesting. I found it very, again, this is crowdsourced. So if you have an alternative, you say, I want to put up an alternative, you can put up an alternative yourself also. If you know some good alternatives, or if you want to put some comments, I have used this and this is what I faced, fine. That is up to you. And most of these freeware and most of these open source, they have a donate button. So even if, see, they are not interested in charging you $500 for an office suite. They are interested in taking $5 from you, and they want 1 million people to subscribe. They in any case get that 5 million. Because it is free, somebody will want to try it out. Somebody will say, okay, I don't mind donating $5. So their model is totally different. Okay.
Where does that donation go then?
It goes to the group of people who have made this. The website is being maintained by them. They have created this website. It would go to them, obviously.
Yeah, but it's a good calculation that
It's
even
a-
it's a little drop of water makes a mighty ocean.
Yes. This is what the name of the game is. Most of the time when you do these sort of free stuff, they always have a donate button next to them. I don't know if we saw it here also in File Converter also. Somewhere they will have donate. So you can go and donate anything, contribute to the project. That means by way of technical inputs, this will be money input, and this will be, you can just say thanks. Thank you for doing this. Okay. So that's about it.
Yes, see,
Yes.
is there an alternative to the Quark program? It's a very expensive
Quark Express.
Quark, yeah. Quark. Oh, is there? Yeah.
There are
Quark.
nine alternatives.
Oh my gosh. That's like hundreds of dollars every. Huh, that's great. And this alternative would be able to read Quark files?
You'll have to individually assess. I can't say because I have not gone through it before, but so Quark or Quark Express.
Yeah, amazing.
This is a DTP application. Yeah, this is what you are looking for.
Yeah, data processing. Very fancy, high-end data processing program.
See, sometimes when you're looking at alternatives, there can be paid alternatives also. So Adobe InDesign is a paid alternative. Not necessarily that all are free. Now this is called freemium. What freemium means is you have free stuff for say 50% of the items, and if you want the premium stuff, you have to pay for it. But you will have to take some effort to figure out which works best with Quark or which works best with Quark files in terms of compatibility, etc. Any other thoughts? Microsoft Publisher, that is another. This is also a DTP application. Again, same programs are coming up, Scribus and LibreOffice Draw. You can make drawings and you can create pages, etc., etc. Okay, so how did you enjoy today?
Very good. Thank you, Yazdi.
So there are so many things within Windows itself and so many things which are free, which are available. It's
Yes.
only a matter of knowing what it is.
Converter on mobile phone?
File converter on mobile phone, I have not tried. No, but see, if you want, you can still on your mobile phone, you can go to the website zamzar.com and still do the conversion. That is possible. And I'm sure if you go to the Play Store or your App Store, you can look for a file converter. Definitely, you'll get many, many file converters.
Already downloaded everything and file converter.
So that is good, yeah. I like my students to use it. So next time I ask for it, at least they should be saying, yes, yes, I've already used it.
And I'm already using the what is it? Sticky notes.
Sticky notes.
Already using.
So you can make your brief notes and stuff like that. Anything else? Anybody has any questions? Of course, there are lots of things. In fact, today I had so many things, but I think this is enough for a day. Maybe some other time we'll catch up on the others. So thank you very much. Any questions, any suggestions for future
No.
sessions?
No question, no suggestion, but to wish you a very happy new year.
Oh, thank you. And same to all of you, whoever is having a new year on Monday.
Yeah, happy
Yes.
New Year to all. Yeah.
Yes, same to you all.
Thank you and wish you all the best. Have a happy new year ahead.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Same to you. Okay.
Bye.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.